Welcome back to the Reality Check Part 2. We just completed Part 1, which was designed to give you perspective on how far your money would go here in Minneapolis. Part 2 is designed to help you understand the financial implications of your future career decisions now that you have a better understanding of how far your money goes in Minneapolis. Keeping Part 1 in mind, we're going to walk you through how to do Part 2. And again, Part 2 looks at both the training or the college involved to get into whatever field you want to do. So let's take a look at how to do that. For this next part, we'll be looking at your annual salary as well as the monthly repayments should you be going to college or whatever training you need to get into that field. To do so, we've put two links up there. One, Naviance, which is through ClassLink, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then the second is Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is the BLS link at the top. Both have good information that I would encourage you to look at both. So let's start with ClassLink through Naviance. Right now I'm logged in under a fake account, and yours might look slightly different with what you can see. However, everybody should be able to see Naviance, which let's click on that. And again, at any point during this video, feel free to pause it and catch up if needed. Once inside of Naviance, there's two key tabs that I want to point out to you. First, the career tabs, which is the one that we'll look at to determine how much you'll earn in a particular field that you might be interested in, at least at this point. The second is colleges. So if you're planning to go to a 2-year, 4-year, this would be a good place to start. However, if you're not planning to go to college and you know that there's a training program out there for you to get into the field that you like, go directly to that site. However, since the majority of us will be going to some form of college, we're just going to show you this. So let's start with the career. Inside of the career tab are a number of options which you can take a look at. If you're completely clueless at this point, go ahead and click on this button and it'll give you a chance to take a career interest profiler or take another skill set test that allows you to kind of see which fields might align best with your personality and skills. However, if we're just exploring general careers, let's click on the first one. Let's pretend that I want to be a mechanical engineer. So I'm just going to type in mechanical engineer, hit search, and over here you'll see options that match what I searched for. And here's the one that I actually want. I'm going to go ahead and click that link. This will give you an overview of the career as well as related careers and majors, and then also backup paths if that doesn't work out. Obviously, you should look at the knowledge and skills, tasks and activities, but most importantly, let's take a look at the wages. When we come out here, it breaks it down to the national average as well as Minnesota. What I would encourage you to do is take the Minnesota average, which is $83,940 in this case. If you're wondering, is that a lot of money? Perhaps you have an hourly job. You can click hourly and convert it over to that amount. However, let's copy and paste that. And then let's go back just to kind of show you some other features within the program. That number that you copied and pasted would go right here. So we type in mechanical engineer, and then we would type in or paste that $83,000 right here. The next step would be to go back to Naviance and then click on colleges. Now I know right off the top of my head that the University of Minnesota has a very solid engineering program. So I'm going to go ahead and search that, and you'll notice that it matches any part of the University of Minnesota system. And I want to go to the Twin Cities one, so I'll click that link. So just a couple quick things that pop up. You'll see a menu that looks like this. What I want you to pay attention to is the admissions and the costs. First, admissions comes to this screen. And what that basically means is that acceptance rate is 44%. So 44 out of every 100 people that apply here get in. Now, the beauty of Naviance is that Hopkins has been using this program for approximately the last 8 years. So it's tracked every single applicant from Hopkins that's applied to this particular college. And this is true of all colleges across the United States. So if you're interested in others, click on this little scattergrams no matter what college you're looking at up here. That'll show you all the kids that have applied over the years from Hopkins and whether or not they've gotten in. Also pay attention to what their GPA was and their ACT score. And if you kind of line those up, you can kind of see that the average ACT score was around 27 with a 3.74 GPA. That usually was enough to get you in. There are some outliers in different cases, and obviously you can explore those and figure out maybe why that was. Now, the other part that I want you to pay attention to is how much does it cost to go to the University of Minnesota? When you come in, you'll see kind of a few different price things, but what I want you to do is kind of take a look at maybe what can I expect to be on the hook for, or how much will it cost per year? So here's what's going into the cost. It says average annual net price. This kind of takes in federal financial aid and everything that goes into paying for college. And again, a lot of colleges are moving to an income-based thing based on your family's household income. So let's pretend that my family, mom, dad, whoever else lives there, if we add up all their incomes, falls in this range. This would mean that to go to the University of Minnesota, on average, would cost me just shy of $20,000 a year. Now, if I'm trying to be an engineer, I have to times that by 4. So roughly $80,000 to finish up that degree. So I'll take my numbers back here, put down the University of Minnesota, calculate that total cost, and then to finish up, what I want to know is what would be my net pay for this career. So kind of like in part 1 where we did the budget, I want you to convert that over to a monthly amount. So if I click on this calculator, it's going to take me to a federal paycheck calculator. And all I have to do is go in here, check that pay frequency is set to monthly, and then let's put in that $83,000 and go ahead and hit enter. When I do that, you can see that your net pay would be $4,943, even though your gross pay is almost $2,000 higher. Again, that's how taxes work, and you'll learn more about that in a later unit. Let's go back. Now the next thing is I need to figure out how much would it cost me per month to go and repay that $80,000 for the University of Minnesota. So I'm going to go ahead and click this loan calculator. It brings me to a student loan calculator. I'm going to put in my balance. So roughly $80,000 is what I would need to come up with to pay for my 4 years. I'm going to go ahead and hit calculate, leave everything defaulted. And what I end up with is a monthly student loan payment of $920. Now that's a pretty significant loan payment. So what I want you to pay attention to is this was the rate at which you borrowed that money, 6.8%. So if you can get a better rate, great. The other thing I want you to pay attention to is over the life of the loan, 10 years, you would have paid $30,000 in interest, bringing your $80,000 education to a real price of $110,000. So we want you to keep those numbers in mind. And then to finish up, we just want you to answer this last question. Would you be able to make your budget from part 1 work with the new pay and new student loan amount? Explain your answer here and tell us how that comes out. Again, take this seriously as it will be your future depending on what you're doing.